Hey everybody, Shadowstar and Crystal here to discuss the 15th episode of Season 1 of Arrow, Dodger, which, that being the name, I'll start with the villain of the week, which, it was at least an interesting villain. It wasn't, he's a one-off villain, but at
Yeah,
least
he wasn't on the list.
but at least he's not as boring as other one-off villains we've had.
Yeah, it was an interesting way to steal things, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing, I remember, before I watched this episode, I remember not liking it or not thinking there was much to remember, but there was a lot in this episode. That being said, the villain plot, once again, is the least interesting part of the episode.
Yeah, I guess they tried to make it interesting by getting Felicity involved at one point. Yeah. And a little nitpick about one of his plans. At the very start, the guy that he uses is a security guy, and he says to the other security guy, "Oh, we were told to move this thing." Then if it's their job to move things, why did the alarms go off?
I would assume you have to disable the alarms. For that many things, you'd have to do a lot to get out of the way.
Yeah, couldn't he have just started his job of moving it, even though, yes, he probably wasn't actually told to move it? The point is, he knows how to do that.
Yeah, but I guess he wasn't thinking straight because he had the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, this is the first episode with Felicity on the team, and already we've got drama with her arguing, but eventually they come around. But I suppose it's a lot like Diggle in his first episode, where... Because I think the first episode where Diggle was a member of the team was the guys who robbed the bank. So it's very similar to that, actually.
Yeah. She didn't like his methods, but then he once again reminded her, "Oh, I just gave a warning this time, no one got hurt." And then to make her happy, he targeted someone not on the list.
Also, she's already been on this team for one episode. She's already a damsel in distress.
Yeah,
It happens a
why'd
lot
they
in
have
the...
to do that?
It happens a lot in the earlier seasons, not so much later on. Occasionally, but not as much. Then we start
Yeah.
getting other characters, like Thea and William and other characters to be hostages.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But I guess, she still helped, but
Yeah,
first episode in and she's already in trouble.
well, it just shows that she's still learning this. Like, her first instinct was to say, "Hey, the Queen's donated that, you can't steal
That's
that."
what I was thinking. It's like, why would you go up and approach the guy you know is the criminal? It's not like, why would you...
It's her first day on the job.
But...
I guess, but having the collar on gave her the chance to build her trust with Oliver, I guess, because she had to trust him to get her out of it.
Well, it's more she had to trust Diggle, because he was the one dismantling the collar.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to disarm it if anything went wrong, but it was ultimately Oliver that stopped the guy from pushing the button. And,
Yeah.
we didn't see it, but I'm guessing he took the remote out of his hand and pushed the button to open it.
Yeah, I guess, but this episode has, like, the one thing I noticed, this episode is really jam-packed. There's, like, 5 or 6 plots.
Yeah.
And only half of them are interesting. It only came up for, like, 2 scenes, but we do get interesting stuff leading into the next episode with the Moira plot.
Yeah, but to me the most interesting plot was the Thea stuff.
Yeah, well, I was about to get to that, but the Thea stuff where we finally introduced to Roy. Also,
Yeah.
is this the only time his full name is mentioned? I didn't know he had a middle name, and I didn't know he was a junior.
I guess so.
I didn't think about that. But yeah, the Thea plot is probably the best part of this episode. Although, at the start, that's the thing, you wouldn't know how much of it is going on yet. I remember a certain scene, but I guess it's not till the next episode or the one after.
Feels so weird to think that he's a junior, because you'd more expect, like, richer people to have a junior rather than, like, lower class people are less likely to pass on a name like that, I think.
don't know. I don't know, some people do. But that was
I don't know anyone in my life that just completely takes a parent's name like that.
I think there was somebody in school, but that's the most I can remember.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, this episode had so many plots, and only half of them are interesting because we had to waste so much time with both Diggle and Oliver getting a relationship plot,
Yeah.
and I didn't care for either of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had the Oliver plot. I mean, okay, I suppose the only tiny interesting part about the Oliver and McKenna plot is the fact that now she's going to be hunting the vigilante. But
Yeah.
I remember that doesn't last much longer anyway, so I can't remember how much longer that Diggle plot lasts.
Yeah. But my favourite part was definitely the Roy stuff, because at first she wants to find him, and then when she hears the story about his mother with vertigo, she can relate to that, and she just drops everything. And then, but I like that as she leaves the house, he says, "Don't trust every sub story a guy like me tells the police." That could make us think, well, did he make that up? But now we know that he didn't. But it's good advice to say, well, my story's real, but don't trust guys like me.
But he also took the drugs away, so we can see that despite him doing what he does, he is a good person, which we'll learn, I think, either next episode or the one after. But yeah, I remember more in this episode than with the Roy stuff. But I guess I guess they drip feed it over the next few episodes.
Yeah, and he didn't have to, but he gave the purse back. Like, there could have been money in there. He could have at least gone, like, here's the purse, but without the money, but...
Oh, well. But that's... I mean, okay, this episode was a mixed bag. There was some interesting stuff, but then there was some boring filler stuff with the love stories with Diggle and Oliver. But it was still better than I remembered the episode being.
Yeah, definitely.
Although, that being said, the flashback was mostly filler. I mean, I suppose it shows Oliver learning not to instantly trust, but other than that, I didn't care for it, which is a shame, because the last episode's flashback was good.
Yeah, I didn't like
But
it.
at the same time, it was only there for like 2 scenes, so like I said, if the flashback isn't exciting, don't be in the way too much. Which it wasn't, I don't think.
Yeah.
Honestly, the flashback wasn't as bad as Oliver and Diggle stuff, but... Like I said, the episode was jam-packed full of stuff.
Yeah, really was a lot to see.
A lot to see, and yet it felt like it went by as a quick, simple episode, because the main villain plot was quick and simple. I suppose because I had to give everyone else, like, 7 other scenes.
Yeah.
But I remember what happens next episode, thanks to that cliffhanger, and I'm excited already.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember anything.
Well, I remember something that happens, and we'll get to that next time. But I suppose we've said we kind of enjoyed the episode, so what are you thinking?
7?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 7. I was going 6.5, maybe 7. Maybe give it a 7. I'm giving it a 7.5.
I'll stick with 7.
You stick with 7. I'm giving it a 6.5. It's better than I remember. It would probably be a bit higher if they didn't have so much side plots. But it was still
To clarify, you might have said the wrong number. You did. What was the number again?
I said I'd give it a 7.5. I might have went higher.
Okay, for a second you said 6.5.
No, I'm giving it a 7.5. I probably would have went higher if some of the side plots didn't get annoying. But the villain was at least enjoyable, even if he's a one-off villain. And I enjoyed the Thea plot because it's setting up stuff. And the Moira plot as well, even if it was quick.
Yeah, we're finally seeing that she just wants to get out, and she thinks the only way to do that is to just kill Malcolm.
Yeah, I mean, we're really getting near, not close to the end, but we're really getting into it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what was your rating?
7.
7, and I'm going 7.5. And with that being said, we'll find out more with the Moira plot next time. Suppose if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like and comment it, but thank you for watching.
That's the first time we've actually said that.
Well, believe it or not, likes and comments do help. If you're watching a small channel, you should like and comment. And with that being said, we'll see you next time for the 16th episode of the season.